Okay, this is just a really quick tutorial on the minerals and igneous rock lab that you're going to do. And so the way it's going to be set up is we're going to have to unfortunately look at lots of pictures because we can't do this in person, but we're going to start off with some minerals, and you'll use the mineral descriptions. So this is a PDF you can open and kind of toggle between, and of course this information was also in the previous pages to the lab, so you can kind of look it over. It talks about the minerals that we want you to understand and some of their properties. So you're going to use some of the imagery and some of the properties to figure out what they are and how you identify specific minerals, and then just some questions about the minerals, their compositions and things like that. But not a whole lot of info on minerals because we want to get into the other rocks. So then there'll be some information and imagery about the igneous rocks. And so you just want to go through here and look at the imagery and use the information that you learned this module about composition and texture, because that's how we're going to identify our rocks. And eventually you'll want to be able to name them, so you'll use that igneous rock chart that is also right here and was also in the information previous to this lab. So you'll just work your way through these images and answer questions about compositions and textures and all that kind of good stuff. So not too crazy. And then the last part of the lab is going to have you look at a geologic map, so we can look around Arizona and see where we have some igneous rocks. And so you've used this geologic map in Google Earth before, and so hopefully you're familiar with it. The two things you'll need are the KMZ file. So remember, you can't open this. You need to download it to your computer, open it with your Google Earth, and then you'll need the explanation of units. So remember, the map that overlays into Google Earth has geologic symbols on it, but there's no legend to tell you what they mean. So that's what this explanations of units is. So you open that up and you can toggle back and forth through that. So when you do that, you're going to be asked to go to a few places, and so how that's going to look is something like this here. The file should look like this. When you expand the file, you'll see a couple bits of information here. One is this overlay, which is the map here, and the other are the 4 locations there I want you to visit. And so you're just gonna remember, if you double click, it'll fly you to that location. So that's just what I'm asking you to do. Remember, this map file is pretty big, and so it can take some time for it to load here and there. So even when I first opened this, it didn't load super fast. I had to wait a few minutes. And you know, it depends on your computer speed and your internet connection, all that kind of good stuff. But you can see it's thinking about it here. So as it loads it, then it's going to take you in. We can zoom in a little more, and then you can see where I want you to look. You can see the map symbol, and so you want to identify the map symbol, and then of course use the explanation of units to figure out what type of igneous rock you have. So it's not too complicated as long as Google Earth and the map behave themselves. You just jump around to a couple of these locations, identify the rock type that exists there, and identify you know, what type of igneous rock it is. And that's basically it for the lab this week. So you'll finish up with that map exercise and then you will be done. So if you're struggling with this or having some issues, please feel free to contact me and I can help you through it.